Okay, this is a Maxvision fully multi-coated 82 degrees 24 millimeter eyepiece. If I remove the lens cap, see the size of the eyepiece. Quite impressive. And if you look at the other side of it, this is almost like a telescope itself. Okay, I'll put now the dust caps of this one back and I will look at the other eyepiece. Okay, I'll put the Pepsi back for the scale, and this is the second eyepiece. Let us see. This is a Maxvision fully multi-coated 68 degrees 34 millimeter. That's even wider angle than that other one. And I'm telling you, this is made of steel. It's heavy. It's heavy, quite heavy. Chunky. Okay, I'll remove the dust caps and show you the rest of it. The lens of this one, the front lens, is quite huge. Look, such a wide view. I've never seen a eyepiece like that you can see. Even the best microscopes don't have that eyepiece. It's massive eyepiece. And this is the side that you look actually. But this is the side that goes through the tube of the telescope. That is the best eyepiece I've ever seen. This is for the Mount Palomar. That's for the Keck telescope. If they use visual, for visual thing other than camera and CCDs. Okay, I'll put that one back now, and we go now to another eyepiece. This is a Hyperion 10 millimeter modular eyepiece. Phantom coating group. As you see, compared to the can of drink, it's the size of the can of drink. And I have to remove the caps, and you can see. This eyepiece is of course 1.4, but you can remove this and make it to 2-inch. And this is the other side of it. And it gives a high magnification but narrower field of view. So these are the 3 eyepieces that I bought from my telescope. Amazing sets of eyepieces. And as you can see, they're amazing. And also this is a mask for blocking the stray lights from entering your field of view when you're looking through this. This one, which is the widest angle one, is excellent for the wearers of the glasses. You don't need anything. You just remove you don't need to remove your glasses if you're a wearer of glasses. But if you're not using glasses, that gives you a whole new world to look into. Overall, I'm really delighted with this purchase. Each one of these is around £200, I think, of these eyepieces. And I got them all 3 for £150. Number 1. In the 21st century, this is an eyepiece design, Huygens. Christian Huygens probably invented it. In the 17th century, the same century that the telescope was invented by Italians and the Dutch and everybody else, it seems. This is the box of it, and compare it with the box of this Maxvision. So, quite large.
Okay, now let's put our Japanese treasure eyepiece beside our Chinese eyepiece, which made in China for the Meade company by Explore Scientific China, which is a Chinese company owned by China. Meade cancelled it, and the order was around since 2012 or 13 in the telescope markets. And eventually, because this was selling 1/4 of the price of the Meade discontinued it. Although this is really good airfoil design, or kind of like a panoptic. But you see how the size compares to what you have. This is a 0.965 Japanese style 40mm eyepiece. Good, I must say, for its own. And this is a Maxvision multi-coated and 68 degrees 40mm eyepiece. I have to remove the end cap so you can see proper reflection. So this is our eyepieces. Okay, this is my Meade LX 200 EMC with the Maxvision 40mm 68 degrees field of view eyepiece. As you can see, it's quite substantial, and the telescope has taken it well. I think probably it is because this one has a metal gears, hopefully, LX200. But I think the LX90 maybe cannot take this. I've not tested it, but I'm just guessing. I may be wrong, but anyway, we have it now here. And I will run a test when there is moon around, just to see how it will look with the moon. Clear skies permitting. But the whole setup looks sturdy enough to me.
Okay, I've now installed my Maxvision 68 degrees 34mm eyepiece. There's a very wide viewing angle. I was really impressed with the image quality on this one. I'm holding the camera. I'm looking forward. That shows the difference between a cheap eyepiece and a good quality eyepiece. I think I will use the Maxvision with this. It goes better. It gives a better result. Looks heavier. Adds at least half a kilo to the weight. But what the heck? That's a good telescope. Needs good eyepiece. The telescope is as good as its eyepiece, and mount, and optical, and collimation, and everything else. It's a mad hobby. Okay, I just have the M42 in the field of view of this Skywatcher Maxvision 150 Maksutov, using the Maxvision 68 degree 34 millimeter eyepiece view is excellent, first class. I can easily split the trapezium in the heart of the M42. At the same time, I just want to tell you that the difference between this Maxvision and this Eyepiece LET, which came with the Skywatcher telescope, is between splitting the trapezium, clearly seeing it pinpoint stars, and not seeing it at all, or seeing something more like a lump of fuzzy light. I can say, look at the outward position I put the telescope mount. This is the Epsonium one from the Heritage 130, and this is rock solid. I put it in a very awkward position. I've tapped it, did everything to it. Not much shaking on the image. I cannot show it because this camera is not very sensitive to show the dim light of the M42, but that is amazing. I'm surprised how clear and how stable is this mount for this Maksutov telescope. And when I was looking to the Sirius, the brightest star in the sky, of course not in the space, and this was because it was very low from the British Isle. It was passing through the light of it was passing through the branches of the trees. It was like a batten of disc, and as a batten of disc, you can use it for focusing, and I exactly used that for this purpose. It was like a batten of disc. I could see the patterns of the star changing according when I reached the focus or went a little bit out of the focus and then back into the focus. That was amazing, and I can say this is a beautiful. You can use it for visual astronomy, the Maksutov one, with this eyepiece, wide-angle eyepiece. I mean later, because this version can use the corrector reducer for the Schmidt-Cassegrains. I may just use this for here before the optical train here, in the between the mirror and the optical train, and see if I can actually make the camera more wide-angle than what it is. We will see if I can do that. I may not be able, it may not work, but let's hope. I love this Maxvision eyepieces. They give such a lovely view. One of the best for observing the Orion Nebula itself and the trapezium is this 24 degrees, 24 millimeter one. I wish I had a 22 or 20 millimeter one. I have not seen it yet. Explore Scientific is the same, but it doesn't have that good, nice feeling of this rubber holding thing, and the size of the glass is enormous. Anyway, it's such a beautiful thing when you look at it. Trapezium in all of them are sharp, edge to edge. This moment I'm looking around the star Al-Nitak in the Orion constellation. Is the last one in the 3 stars of the belt of Orion. And a little bit down toward the south, I see a lot of nebulosity. This is the Maxvision 24 millimeter eyepiece, and I'm using the a 2-inch. Of course, this is a 2-inch eyepiece, and I'm using a 2-inch ultra high contrast filter. I see a lot of nebulosity. This is an 8-inch LX200, a classic one. The sky is not very. Yeah, it's quite dark actually. You're not quite dark, and the clouds are clear. I see a lot of nebulosity. A lot of dark streaks. Which one of them is the Horsehead Nebula is not very clear, because what I'm doing, I should show you. I'm using this cover to put over my head, so I'm practically really get it backed out. And after adaptation of my eye, I can see a lot of nebulosity, especially with averted vision. They're very visible. What is funny is that in those nebulosity, I see a lot of dark streaks, It's not one. It's more than probably 6 nebula, dark streaks I see around. They're scattered all over the place. It's easy to see actually around the Al-Nitak to see itself, the nebula there, which is a flame nebula. That is definitely easy. The easiest. You don't need even dark adaptation for seeing that. Maybe exceptional. I have a probably exceptional eye vision, thanks God. But the Horsehead Nebula, I've heard that is very difficult. You need at least 11-inch to telescope to see that. With this 8-inch I can see it with the help of the ultra high contrast. And as I told, I'm putting a shroud over my head, so I will be completely dark adapted. And as you can see, I'm also using for this video, I'm using a red torch, which is on my head actually. And you can see it now better with the light of it. So it's a very exceptional seeing, and I really like these Maxvisions. I think Maxvisions are the best eyepieces I've ever had, and they are not expensive. They are the best for the price, and comparable or even better than the ones that the Teleview, Nagler, and Ethos and others sell, or Planaview. And I really am enjoying this. Visual astronomy is definitely a good way of better understanding, because I've seen a lot of overexposed. Actually, I was looking on the eyepiece and comparing with what I can see in the mobile phone pictures. The images that you see, I should say actually images, the images you see are overexposed. The stars are not what you see actually in this. Of course, they're reverse in the Schmidt category, in the reverse. But again, they are not what you will see in the eyepiece. The stars in the images you see are overexposed, they're big, huge. What you see in the real world is different, more like a drawing. If you want to draw it, you have to draw it more carefully. Of course, drawing with different telescopes give you different views. That's the problem. So you have to make your own drawing. And I'm going to actually gradually go toward the visual observation drawing.